everybody. It's another Tuesday night, and we've got some anglers. If you haven't heard of them, you're living under a rock. We got Lisa and Tasha here today. So thanks for joining, guys.
Thanks for having. Hey, everyone.
Hey, Broden. So you're out fishing this morning, Tasha?
Yeah. I took a windy tour out east to go fish for a bit for some pike and walleye in this cold weather. It was really slow.
Yeah.
Good on you, though.
Yeah, it was good to get out. Like, I only have random days off for work, so I gotta just take what I can get.
Yeah.
And there was no skunk. There was no skunk, so I guess I'm happy about that.
Oh, yeah, no skunk's the best. And when you have to battle all that wind all day, it's just no fun in those temperatures.
Absolutely.
No, I don't know what I was thinking, but, I just had to fish. I had to do it.
You're thinking I'm a true angler and I'm going out there.
Yeah. Have you seen those new tip-ups? Who the heck is it? I don't know if it's Bravo. Todd got one. It's got that bubbler in it. That sits over the hole.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of Todd's, but I haven't seen one in action.
I wonder how that'd do in those windier conditions, or if it's still put ice underneath there.
I don't know. Maybe. There's a few different little things you can get for them. There's a separate little aerators that you can get to put underneath them, or even just in your hole too. I've thought about trying them, but I haven't.
Or those little shakers that just vibrate there.
Yeah.
Huh. Those would be good for truck fishing, probably.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have to get out as much.
I know. All day, in and out, change things, check the tip-ups, make sure they're not frozen. Flags are frozen.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to happen.
That's comfy fishing, though.
Yeah, it was fun. It's fun. You can listen to the radio. My buddy got a new camera, so we stretched the cord out long and watched the camera in the truck, so that was fun.
Were you seeing anything on the camera? I know you said you only caught one pike, but was there a lot going on?
There wasn't a ton, but we did see a few big fish coming through. And even the smaller one I caught is starting to get a bit of a feed bag on. So I don't know. It's happening.
Yeah.
Spring fish is on its way.
It is coming quick.
I seen a big brand new badger hole today too, so that's another sign spring might be coming.
Hopefully, after this next little cold snap, it's not freezing cold anymore.
Yeah, let's hope.
Because our weather's just been crazy this year. We haven't had a flat stretch of just consistent pressure or consistent weather. It's just been up, down.
Which has really, I don't know about you guys, but it has really played a big role in how I'm fishing for fish, where I'm looking for them, having to move. When we saw that 3 weeks of, -40 there in kind of late December, early January, and then it kind of, came out of that and into some warmer temperatures. Holy man, was that a struggle. Just couldn't land the fish and trying to find and move and go, and that pressure system. Yep. Sorry.
No, I was just giving a wave to Adam. Continue.
Oh, hey Adam.
And Ricky.
Yeah, definitely seeing a big change this year with not having the consistent weather pattern staying for more than a day or two, 3 or 4, and then boom, we're changing again, and the fish pattern and the fish have changed what they're doing. So
yeah,
same for sure.
What species are you seeing that's more affected in? If you're targeting a certain species, because I know certain species are more affected by pressure for sure and temperature changes. And what have you been chasing mostly this year, and what have you done to adapt to those situations?
Well, for me, I love chasing walleye. It's my thing. But so definitely seeing that the most with the walleye, and having to be out there, be set up, be ready, well before the sun is coming up on that horizon, because they're even before the horizon or the sun's even up, and then there's smaller windows is what I'm finding. They're coming in quicker clusters and longer breaks. And same thing towards the evening. Usually I found I kind of had a longer window, a good hour where they'd come in and feed. Now they're more cluster feeding, and that again, they're staying till after dark longer. And I didn't really see that much before. And even in the afternoons, I'm finding again that they're coming more in groups where they're coming in, 3, 4, 5 at a time, and then out they go. And again, they're coming in. And so I haven't really understood that part yet. I've been doing some research and trying to understand it, but would love to hear if somebody had an explanation with regards to the groups coming in like that.
For that reason, I don't know why they'd be coming in unless your bait fish are getting more scattered, because it sounds like they're just rolling through in schools, but are not as consistent in that area. So your bait fish might be spread out more.
Yeah, maybe.
So they're not staying in an area as long, and they're searching more for those that feed. Yeah, that's what I would think, but they could be staying deeper longer as well, because your pressures won't be affected in those deeper ranges.
True. And then they're maybe just coming up, because I'm definitely up on the ridge, right, where I'm sitting in that 14 feet. Not far from me is the 30-foot drop into that basin, and so maybe they're just coming up and staying just a short period of time, whereas before they were staying longer, or if the weather stables out, a week of stable weather, they're in and there's no issues. It's just like, whoa, where'd you all come from? But
I think
so go ahead.
I think they just become, when those pressure systems goes, they're more lethargic, so they're just having that burst of feeding time, then they're slow back down. They're just gonna sit somewhere and digest.
But I don't know if you guys are fishing lakes or reservoirs, but down here I'm finding that the walleye are a lot shallower than I'm usually fishing them, but not just a shallow dead spot. I've got to find a shallow small spot of the lake or like the reservoir where there's a bit of current going through. So like maybe close to a bridge or just some kind of narrow. That's where I'm finding them, and I'm catching them from, I don't know, maybe like 6 feet to 15 feet.
Yeah, and those funnel points.
Yeah.
And this is sorry, go ahead, Mitch.
Yeah, just a typical hunting tactic for anything. Your predator or your animal's going to go through those spots, and you just wait at the junctions. Awesome tactics for sure.
Yeah.
And this is the first year I've had some really good success fishing for walleye just outside of a weed bed. Typically that's where I would fish for pike. But this year it's crazy the amount of walleye that I have caught just outside a weed bed, and I'm sitting in 7 feet of water.
Yeah. On the edge of those, even in the summer, spring, that heat, it's perfect shade for them. You got so much bait food.
Yeah, and I understand that in the spring and summer I will fish it, but I haven't been successful in the past ice fishing, so that was different for me.
What have you been targeting, Tasha? I know you've been kind of everywhere, chasing a bit of everything, but
well, I've been fishing a lot of perch in my search for bass. I was out in BC for a few days, and I found a lot of shanty ice. It got cold there quick, but then they got a big dump of snow, so it insulated that ice pretty thin. And then the day before I was there, it rained, and so there was just a ton of slush and water on every lake I fished. But I fished some new lakes. I couldn't quite get to the depths I wanted to get, all but one lake, I guess. But I think too, like just with that cold snap, they're not used to that. And I think bass are a lot like trout in that way. Midwinter in those cold temperatures, they start to get lethargic. They're kind of hunkering down a bit, conserving energy. So you really got to work for them. And I that's kind of what I'm going with, I guess. I was finding perch, I'm finding trout. I found one bass, had it on and lost it. So that, that was that trip. But I definitely have my spots planned out for spring and first ice on the new lake. That's for sure.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know we really want to get out there, but we'll see. Hopefully we don't run out of time. We had a good September long out there. We got on some nice bass and perch, but usually once you find one good bass, you're just going to be in that area because in the winter, they tend to school up more and they're just more lethargic. Small spoons, jigs work great.
I think any other time I've been out there and caught them this time of year has been, it's been a lot fairer there than it was here. Like we're coming from minus 30 plus temperatures here, and there's days I fished out there it's +5 and raining. So, some of my nicest bass through the ice have come on those days. But when I was out there, I was at the beginning of that first warm swing after it was cold. So I think a little more time. A lot of the snow is off the ice now, so they're still getting cool enough temperatures at night. I think the ice will hold for a little bit, so fingers are crossed for a little spring fish out in BC.
Oh, yeah.
We have such different conditions, We have like 25 inches or plus of ice, and we probably have, I don't know, 4 feet of snow. And we have overflow because we had all this crazy, right? This warm cold. We went from minus 45 to +4 in a matter of 24 hours. But it's just interesting that you're down to ice again, and it's kind of crazy.
Right? It's crazy. Even the lake I fished today had super thick ice, and the last little trout lake I fished at a couple weeks ago, I was at about 5-6 inches of ice, and like not super hard ice. So it was kind of weird. In some places it built really well and really quickly, and other places I think out west there's just too much snow, so it insulated it.
Right.
Definitely.
And it's funny, like when we had that 3 weeks or whatever of the really cold temperatures, as you were saying, the walleye and perch for me, what I was seeing is, super lethargic. Even, we would see them, they'd come in, kind of come around your hook and just go, yeah, no, not really interested, or that would be too much work, and kind of keep going. Yeah. But what was good is that the pike then were a little more aggressive, and they were coming in, and they'd hit pretty good as far as taking your bait and stuff. So a little bit different. At least there was some action with the pike when the walleye were a little more lethargic.
Yeah. Well, we're not live on Facebook for some reason, but I might have to do a quick adjustment because it looks like we're just on YouTube right now.
All right.
So bear with me. There'll be a 5-minute delay. Maybe grab some popcorn. Fill your cup, and we'll be back in 1 second.